Welcome to the MotUS Edge, where we celebrate business, primarily youth sports facility management, leadership, and motivation. Co-hosted by Stacy Rowe, Cole Stott, Kevin Brubaker, and Casey Jones. We are here to fill your cup with knowledge, laughter, affirmations, and comfort knowing that you're not alone. You can and will succeed with the MotUS Edge.
Hello, and welcome to another fabulous episode of the MotUS Edge. We are so excited to be here today. I personally am super excited because it is October and I love fall, and I start celebrating in September, but it's like officially fall now, and I am pumped. Do you guys
I
like
thought you were
fall
going to
as
say
much
you're
as I do?
excited because you're with the three of us today.
You know, I am generally kind of excited about that, but today I'm not so much really, no.
Do you have all your fall decor out? Is your front porch all decorated?
The minute, like literally the second that the clock strikes September, I am getting all of the fall decor out. I actually did it a little early this year because the way that Labor Day fell on that weekend.
We skipped that in our household, and actually right around this time, hadn't happened yet, but it's coming. That's about the time that the company comes out to put all the Clark Griswold Christmas lights all over our house.
Wow. So you guys do Christmas lights in October, huh?
Heather loves Christmas. So we'll do the Christmas lights go up around then. And then right after Halloween, we just skip Thanksgiving and all that and go right into the Christmas decor. So
that is great.
goodness.
Halloween in our neighborhood is like a festival, man. Let me tell you, it is insane. It's wild. I probably go through 1,000 pounds of candy, and that's not an exaggeration. It's insane.
I'm going to be in the mountains this year. My niece is getting married November 1st, so we're going up to Blowing Rock and Boone for the weekend for a wedding. So I'll be trick-or-treating in Blowing Rock.
Oh, so your house is going to get egged because nobody will be there to pass out candy, huh?
They don't egg us anymore. We'll put candy on the front porch. Maybe Sky can handle it.
Stacy,
Kids
maybe
today,
you should.
They don't know what it's like, man. Back in the day, you definitely were egging houses. Mischief night. We had that in New Jersey all the time. Did you guys do that? Mischief night?
Yeah, we used to run around with bottle rockets. Don't turn me in, I guess, but with bottle rockets and shoot them at cars and run away and have bottle rocket wars on.
We called it glow lighting. So, the glow sticks that you pop so we had this road leading into my neighborhood. It was a 2-lane road, and the trees grew over. It's almost like a tunnel, and then no houses on each side. So we would climb back up in the hills and we'd hang all these glow lights from the trees. So it would look like, I don't know, some Martians or something in the middle of the road. And then the cars would stop to look at them, and then we would shoot bottle rockets at the cars. So.
Yeah,
I actually never participated in Mischief Night, but I figured that you guys did. So there you go.
Mischievous. What about out in the middle of nowhere, Kevin, when you were growing up? What was Halloween like?
Cow tipping.
I have been cow tipping, and so we did that a lot. There's nothing greater than knocking a cow over and listening to him scream and be upset and wallow. And got chased by a buffalo before. One time we were in a pen with cows, and there was buffalo in there, so that was make your heart race faster than it should. And we used to take pumpkins off people's porch. So the night after Halloween, we would go November 1st, and not only smash them, we would smash them all in the same intersection, hundreds of pumpkins. And so it was like a speed bump. So literally those pumpkins, and we would drive over them, and we would have an intersection of literally up to a foot high of just smashed pumpkins in the middle of it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
But we did wait till November 1st. We didn't take
I can't believe that you have.
Looking back, we used to smash pumpkins too, my brother and I. And looking back, now having, when my boys were little and we would spend so much time smashing, they're making pumpkins and putting them out on the front porch. And one time, teenagers or kids came by and they smashed our pumpkins. It made me feel really bad that I used to do that. It's made me feel like a bad person.
Makes a mess, doesn't it?
I was so angry.
I think we should definitely say we are not like promoting any of this behavior.
Yes,
not at all.
Especially in today's time. So you go on somebody's front porch now, you might get.
No,
you can't do it because everyone has a ring. So you go to someone's front porch, they don't know who you are. So
yeah, like we're talking about 100 years ago when you guys did all this stuff.
No,
it's been a long time ago. It's been a long time ago. I
Kevin
love
would
football
take the
season.
wagon to pick up a horse and wagon to go pick up the pumpkins. So
Yes.
Aye.
I love football season. Football on Sundays because, as we all know, I'm an NFL girly, and I love to have snacks and treats and wings, and we just cook and have a feast all day and watch football, and it's super fabulous and amazing. And hopefully the Eagles are going to win again. Go Birds.
Get them.
go Dogs.
Go
We're
Broncos.
we're all about the SEC in our house. So
Yeah, have y'all watched that new show, Any Given Saturday on Netflix?
No.
I have
It's
not.
about the SEC football. It's pretty good. I give it a shout out. It's worth a watch.
Okay.
I'll have to check it out. All right. So in the spirit of fall and entering competition season, let's share some crazy stories. What's your craziest competition story you can share for gym owners to know they're not alone and they're going to survive competition season no matter what comes at them?
Kevin's
Well,
laughing.
I'll start. I feel like I've got 1,000 of them, but one of them that still just sticks in my mind that I still have PTSD over is actually at CHEERSPORT, a little competition down in Atlanta that Kevin started. And the guy, I won't use his name, even though it's been 20 years ago, 25 years ago probably, that had our entire program's music, met a young lady the night before, and they ended up, hanging out for a little bit and didn't show up the next day with our, not just one of the teams, with all, I think we probably had 16 teams at the time, with all
Wow.
16 teams music. So we were in Atlanta. We had to send a car back to Knoxville to get it off the computers back when you had to burn the CDs. It's before iPhones, obviously, and everybody had access to it. It was extraordinarily stressful, but we made it through it. And needless
Wow.
to say, that gentleman's no longer with us.
Wow, it's so funny. The CDs, that reminds me, this isn't my story, but that reminds me, we had this guy that worked for us, Jason Hatcher, maybe y'all remember, he's huge.
Football
huge.
player,
I
man.
remember
Yeah,
just
he was a-
jumping up and down the whole time.
Yeah.
You know,
He was a big boy.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was a giant, and I constantly messed with him. Like all the time I was messing with this guy, and he could have just like crushed me with one hand, but he would get so stressed out around NCA, literally so stressed out, he would lose patches of hair. That's how stressed he was
Wow.
before NCA. So I coached this team with him, and this was back during the time of CDs, and we were down there in the arena, standing in that coach's box. He is literally up front, ready for the team to come on. They announced the team coming on the floor, and I was the guy to work the music. And I had taken a blank CD and I just crushed it into like all these pieces. And literally, team comes on the floor. He turns around and I just yell, "Oh, crap." And I open up a CD box and the CD just crumbles to the floor. And I just look at him with this horror. And the look, I wish somebody had a picture. I mean,
Why would you do that?
because it was
Great.
funny.
Poor guy.
yeah. Jeez.
That's great. So
Karma is going to come and get you, Casey
I'm sure
Jones.
that was 20 years ago. I'm sure it has gotten me many times since then. But, man, that poor guy, I'm surprised his heart didn't stop beating right there.
Well, when I was in North Carolina, we used to have a big event we would do every year in March. We called it an exhibition. This was way before people, did showcases. And it actually started the very first year we did it because randomly some competition that I don't even remember what competition we were supposed to go to. It got canceled. And so to give the kids an opportunity to do something, I worked out with a local school to rent their gym. And we just kind of went to the school and everybody performed their routines on a hard floor. And, that's how it originally started. But then it grew into a bigger to do. And we used to use it as a fundraiser for our world's teams. And then we kind of added an awards, part to it where we kind of combined our awards banquet. Cause you guys know, as your program gets bigger, it's hard to facilitate that, through the years. So we kind of lumped this event all into one thing. And we used to, it was massive. We used to pack the gym and we would sell out every year, tons of tickets. And we have, like I said, we would do our senior celebrations. We'd videos for the seniors to play, and we would, recognize all of our athletes and do all these different awards. And it was Friday night before the event or Friday afternoon before the event. And the school calls me and they just decided that they were not going to host our event anymore. I honestly can't remember why, but they were just basically like, we're sorry, but you can't have your event here tomorrow. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? That's not an option. And so, we were the epitome of we're not taking no for an answer. And I pretty much told him that. I was like, you need to go figure out whoever you need to talk to, but we're coming tomorrow. Like, our time to start to set up is 8 a.m. And I'm going to be there. So we need to figure this out before 8 a.m. in the morning, because I'm not taking no for an answer. And he's like, I'm sorry, Miss Rowe, but this just is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm like, well, we need to talk to somebody who can do something about it. So I never actually did this before, but I kind of put out an all call to all the parents at the gym. And I was like, I don't really know what's going on, but they canceled our event. Somebody's got to know somebody to help us get this event put on. And to make a long story short, some parent ended up waking up the superintendent of Johnston County Schools at 10:30 p.m. and got our event approved. And we were there at 8 a.m.
Whatever it takes. The show
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The parents were 100% the ones pushing that, but somebody got a hold of somebody, and we woke up the superintendent of schools.
That event was about to be in the parking lot of the school.
Yeah.
I've got another one. When we're back in the early days of athletic, not really that early days, probably 2009, 2010-ish. Athletic had a big event in Destin at the Fort Walton Convention Center. And there's a major storm coming through, and we'd always have to build a tent out back for warm up, because if for anyone who's been there, it's a small venue, and we'd have fairly big event. So you'd have to build a tent for warm up and put down this plywood over top of the sand, and it would be all crooked. And the spring floor would be like an inch off. And anyway, this huge storm just comes rushing in. You know how fast it comes in at the beach. And Brian W. Norfleet, who's a large man, he's actually lost quite a bit of weight now, but back then he was probably about 330, 340, big, strong dude. But we come looking out the back. It was me and I think it was me and Trey Letard. Come looking out, I was like, is the tent okay? And Dub is literally hanging onto this pole while the tent's going, trying to save it. And we're like, Dub, just let go. Let it go. It's not worth dying for, dude. Just let it go. And needless to say, he let it go, ran inside, tent blew over. And we ended up back to the parking lot. Warm up was in the parking lot the next day. We
had a storm once in Buffalo, New York, of all places. CHEERSPORT used to do an event at the end of January in Buffalo. And only one time we had this massive snowstorm. We're like, oh, my goodness, we're going to have to cancel this event. And they're like, no, it'll be fine. They'll clear the roads. You'll be good to go. I was like, okay, but we could not get the truck down the ramp up to the loading dock because the weather was so bad on that Friday afternoon. And so we literally had to leave the truck at the top of the hill. No forklift could go outside. We carried every board through snow up to the loading dock and unloaded a truck and literally took everything down this hill through the snow to be able to get it inside. I think we got done setting up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And went and showered and came back and did the event the next day. And they didn't even delay the event. I mean, we started the event on normal time because they're used to that kind of snow in Buffalo, New York. Yeah. So they plowed all the roads and everybody came, and we had 80, 90 teams there. Half of them were from Canada. They all came. They didn't care. But for us to set that event up was a nightmare because we carried stuff. I remember handing out $100 bills to these college boys just to help us unload that thing. And they were there for hours. And thank goodness we were able to do it. But it was the worst, the absolute worst. So
when you got that Kevin Brubaker money, I mean, you're just pulling hundreds out from that's nothing. So that's like a dime to the rest of it.
I think the moral of the story is be a swan. So
Yeah.
if you guys have ever seen a swan, right? They're like so pretty and beautiful on top of the water, but their legs are going nuts underneath of the water. And so I think it's just be a swan. There's always chaos and craziness, and but the show must go on, and the customer, the athletes, the gym, whatever your situation is, they don't know behind the scenes what happened to make it happen. You sit like you said, Kevin, you guys started your event on time. Everybody had a smile on their face. The customer was none the wiser because the show needed to go on, and that was the end of that. And that's just kind of how you do. So be a swan. That's my thing for today. Be a swan. Chaos is part of life.
Well, I have one more on the competition side. Earlier, we do an event called Halloween Jam at our gym. So it's a rec competition, and then our teams will exhibition. But literally the very first year we did that, obviously Halloween, right around this time of year. And I forget who it was, but somebody had this great idea of, we're going to build this backdrop that looks like a haunted house. And this was before you could easily just order a banner, a big backdrop to hang up like these days. So
we're building a literal backdrop.
Correct. So, I mean, it was literally that. We had this big Ryder truck with all the equipment in it. We go over to the local high school, and we can't get in until after school that day. So it's 7:00 at night. And literally we've got like wood and nails and some hammers with a bunch of cheerleading coaches who are like, we're going to build a haunted house. And man, it was terrible.
Did somebody lose a finger?
No, but like getting it to stand up, and then it ended up, because I mean, it's like 2x4, so it ended up being really heavy. So it was absolutely dangerous. Like it could have fallen on a kid.
Were kids walking through the haunted house?
So we were, the whole thing was, we're going to build like a frame and then cover it in canvas. And then we were going to paint the canvas to look like a haunted house. All within a few hours, we were going to do this. So literally, it's the same thing. I mean, it's 4 a.m. and we're still painting this canvas, and then we set it up, and then we come in the next morning, and it had fallen, and then we had to like prop it up the entire day. I'm like, please, Lord, please don't let this fall on the kid. I was announcing, so I had a microphone, and I just stayed back by that backdrop to hopefully catch it if it started to fall. So, but luckily it stayed up. And it actually kind of looked cool. It was such a bad job that it looked like an old beat up house. So it actually kind of.
I want to see pictures of that.
I know. You got to dig up some pictures of this. Well, speaking of events, Kevin, why don't you tell us about some events that have an actual backdrop that's not built by Casey?
Yes. So we have the CX brands and the Prime Alliance, Cheer Expo, Cheer Excite, Cheer Excel, and Cheer X competitions. With this upcoming season, we have 16 events nationwide, literally from California and Vegas to Dallas and Houston, all throughout the Midwest, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Columbus, Northeast, and Hartford. Of course, we're in the Southeast. And then we have a new end of the year event, the grand finale in Myrtle Beach in the middle of April. And then we have our Prime Alliance All-Star Finale that's May 8th, 9th, and 10th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So we'd love to have you come check out any of those competitions this upcoming season. We have 2 websites for thecxbrands.com. So that's www.thecxbrands.com. And then the Prime Alliance for our end of the year event in Fort Lauderdale. If you want to, you can sign up now. You don't have to have a bid, or if you get a bid, you can discount it to come. We'd love for you to come to theprimealliance.com. So that's www.theprimealliance.com.
Nice work, Kevin.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah. And Kevin's going to have to walk through the snow to set up at several
Not in
of
Fort
these 16
Lauderdale.
events. So,
hopefully not Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, no, it's going to be beautiful, mid-80s and sunny, and the beach is awesome in Fort Lauderdale. So if you want
That's
a
it.
beach
He's going to
event,
have to walk through the sand.
Yes.
To set up in Fort
that sounds
Lauderdale.
great.
That's awesome.
I'll have Doug come down and build a tent, and we'll pray for no storms.
We will not have Casey do any backdrops in any of our events. So
I can build it. I can do it.
All right. So today, guys, we're going to do a dad joke face off. We're going to put Casey and Kevin on the spot, and we are going to have a dad joke face off to see who brings the best dad joke today to the podcast. So Cole, you and I, we are supposed to try to stay as straight faced as we possibly can. Let's see if we cannot laugh. Whichever one of us laughs first is the loser. If neither one of us laugh, then Kevin and Casey are the losers. Maybe we could even get our listeners out there to vote on our social media posts which one of their jokes was the favorite.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm playing this under appeal because it's hard to not. I mean, before we even get started here, I'm going to appeal the results because it's hard not to look at Kevin and not laugh. So I mean.
That might be
an unfair advantage.
Oh,
I already know mine's better. You can go first, Casey, because we'll end with the better one.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was hoping.
Wait, hold on. I got to get my game face on because I'm already half laughing. Okay.
Why does Humpty Dumpty like this time of year?
I don't know. Stacy lost.
I already laughed.
Yeah, Stacy lost. Don't play poker. Stacy, note to self. Do not become a poker
She's got to tell.
I don't play poker.
Yes.
I won.
I play chess. Okay, Humpty Dumpty.
Why does Humpty Dumpty love this time of year?
I don't know.
He had a great fall.
Stacy lost again. Oh my Lord.
Call your face. You're like, do. I'm laughing more at you than anything. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I got to do better. See, like I'm
just pinching my leg really hard. So I'm dealing with the pain so I don't smile.
All right. Here we go. Go ahead,
All right.
Kevin.
Ready?
Yep.
How do you make water holy? You boil the hell out of it.
That's like a tie. Again, the joke,
like,
not funny. Joke, not funny. Looking at Stacy trying not to laugh, it's funny.
I was biting my cheeks that time, trying not to laugh.
Well, my plan was to get I went off script. So I didn't use the joke that we had agreed on. So
you did. And I gave y'all permission to choose your own joke.
Yeah. So I was hoping that
honestly, Casey, if you want to know the truth, that's why I started laughing because I was like, wait a minute, that's not the joke I sent him. And I was like, oh, Jesus,
that was my plan. That was my plan. Like, we're not allowed to go off script for those of you that know.
So I think that's what we should have our listeners vote on. So were Casey and Kevin's jokes better today, or do you like their typical jokes better? Because then we'll see. This was Casey and Kevin left to their own devices.
Right. Yes. And understand it is very infrequently that Stacy allows us to think for ourselves. So.
Well, I didn't. I still sent mine to Stacy for approval because I didn't know if I could say hell or not on a podcast. So she said I could. So
hell.
You guys give me so much crap.
So
hey, if you've got a great dad joke, we love to share your jokes. So once again, if anybody's got a great dad joke, make sure to send it our way. You can email them to Stacy. It's stacy@joinmotus.com. Or send us a DM on our social media at joinmotus.
Or you could email them to Kevin or Casey, and they won't check their email and see the joke. So
there you go.
You can text it to me. If you text it to me, I'll definitely see it.
Yeah.
So,
assuming your phone's working.
Yes.
yeah, that's.
And it's going to come across green in there because he's not allowed to use Apple services anymore.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, guys. So we are kind of starting competition season, gearing up for the new year. And just this is a good time to really just check yourself at your gyms and, what kind of stories or advice can we share to help everybody have a successful start to their year, to their season and to their year and their business, all the things?
I'll start. I'll stay. I've been consistent, I feel like, with this thought for years and years and years. I feel like setting the correct expectation with your parents and your athletes and your coaches going into the competition season and what success looks like is critical for a successful year. And you can define success in many different ways. I feel like people go through the summer, they go to tryouts, they go through the summer, they get choreography, they get the music. Of course, everyone's excited to start the competition season, but you know what? So is everyone else, and everybody wants to win. So I think it's a mistake that a lot of programs make is only defining success based off winning each competition, which is just unrealistic. Unless you're Casey, it's a little bit realistic for him. But even for Stingrays and some of the very, very top, they don't win every single time. So
we lose far more than we win.
Yeah, I think it's defining the expectation into the year, having a clear and honest message to your parents, your athletes, and your coaches. So that's my number one advice.
That's great advice. We really kind of promote judging everything by, as the kids are walking off the stage, that's where we want to judge it before the results out. If they are jumping up and down and hugging each other and they feel great about their performance, then we have done the job, because we don't control what the judges write on the score sheet. We don't control if the other team's better than us. So, did we go out and put on a good performance and the kids feel good about it?
I would say something that we do, that Kendall does at Charlotte All-Stars, is I think our communication up to an event, during the event, after the event is just top notch. And so what she does with all of our staff, literally our weekly schedule of emails of events, the information that we give to parents as soon as possible. The more information that parents know, especially new parents, to understand how a competition works and all the things before it, during, and after it, it just makes your life easier as a gym owner to be able to communicate those things about events and things coming up for the entire season. And the more communication you have, the better. And you're going to have parents that, it's a third, and a third. A third of the parents read every word you send out. A third of the parents scan over some of it, and a third of the parents don't read any of it. But they can't blame us for not reading their emails with the information or the things on the band or the updates for all of our events. And so that communication piece will just make your life easier if you're remotely good at it. It'll make your gym better.
I'm going to go in a completely different direction since you guys all talked about competition, and I'm going to talk about classes. I think that, the new year is several months away, but it's going to be here before you know it. And it's a great time to refresh your class program, what classes you're offering. If you want to roll out a new class, now is a good time to kind of plan that and start marketing it and promoting it so that you can be ready for the new year. A lot of times what happens is January rolls around or mid-December and you're like, oh man, it would be great to add this new class, or we should really close these classes. And it's already, Christmas, and then the new year's here. So I challenge everybody to do that today. I think it's a good time to do an audit of your classes, see what classes you have that are full and have a waiting list. You should be doing this all the time anyway, but see what classes you have that are full and have a waiting list and you need to open more of. See what classes have 1 or 2 kids in them that you need to close because they're not full and they're not filling up. And what's the need? Do you need to add new classes, more classes? Do you want to start a new fun class? It's also a really great time to kind of think about, your additional holiday revenue. Are you going to do a spectacular event, some type of Halloween event? Are you going to do a Thanksgiving? We used to do like drop and shop on Black Friday, or Santa's workshop for Christmas, or, Christmas clinics, just different things like that. Now is a good time to plan those things so that you have a great, successful season in the next couple months and into the new year.
Oh, that's great.
Good advice.
Love it.
I'm going to back up again to competitions. I believe in definitely communicating. I think Kevin and Cole both touched on that, and communication is key. And I think you've got to do it in multiple ways. We do some Facebook Lives, and then we'll send out that same information on email, and then we'll try to, create different visual things so that everybody's got an opportunity to hopefully see one of those things. But I think another big factor is really having a dry run. We create several events before we ever take the stage at a major nationals because we want to know if someone doesn't know how to do their hair correctly or show up looking the way that we want everybody to look. Our look and our image is really important to us. So we want everybody to show up looking professional. That's what we want to look like. We want to look like a professional organization. So if you don't practice that, then you don't know until you get to competition. And we used to make that mistake. And then even from the teams and how they look, if you haven't seen them run in a full out setting with their uniforms on and their hair bows in and their makeup done and, with the whole stage effect, you might get a surprise at that first nationals. So, and then that's also an opportunity for the coaches to learn what they're dealing with. So even if we have an event at our gym, you set strict times and, hey, we want you to be here and here's how we meet, here's how we look. So you can find out right off the bat, all right, who's going to be late, who shows up looking a mess. And then you kind of know and you're able to work through those things before you get to the first major national competition.
I will say that's one of the things I've always loved about Stingrays and Charlotte too, actually, for that matter. And I would maybe even lump Premier into this, but I was really trying to more give shout outs to you guys. You've always stayed true to that athletic, clean look, through all of the crazy phases of all-star cheerleading and all of the different big hairs and ponytails and red lips and all of it. You kind of stayed true to who you were. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you. It is kind of my pet peeve these days. And I know, man, the young people are going to be like, gosh, I wish that old man would shut up. But like going out in public in your pajamas with your house slippers on, and your hair a mess, looking like you just rolled out of bed. I don't think that's a good look when you show up at any competition. So right. I wouldn't go to,
Casey, are you saying I should stop showing up to work like that?
I think it's totally fine to show up to work. But, you show up and you see someone and they've got their uniform top on, which represents your gym. Then they've got a pair of wild colored pajama pants with some Ugg boots. Just like,
not a good look.
Call me an old man, but I just don't care for that.
Yeah, you dress for success. Which, the world's kind of moved away from that. But to some degree, if you get up, get ready, get showered, get ready for your day, I truly believe in all things you're going to be more successful.
Yeah, puts you
Cole,
in the
what's
mindset.
Your saying? What's your favorite saying? Tell the world.
Which one?
Dress. How to dress. You're saying about dressing. Come on, dude.
What?
Stacy,
you always say this, dress for the job that you want.
Yeah, not the job you have.
Yes, you say that all the time.
I know. It's true, and I believe that. Like I said, it's if you and in some regards, I look at it as almost a respect for yourself, but also respect for your organization you're with, your team that you're with, or the company that you're with is just that it matters to you. And you take the time. I mean, it doesn't, especially for guys, obviously it's a little bit easier to get ready. I mean, I can look this good in about 5 minutes and I don't get any better. This is as good as I get.
Well, clearly most of the time, Kevin wants to work for like a late 80s rock band that just,
I like my affliction shirts, Casey. Don't mess with me.
That just won a couple $1,000 gift certificate over at Merry-Go-Round. So
I would.
Oh my God, the merry-go-round.
Chess King.
Where are 80s and 90s people out there with the merry-go-round?
You run
Z
through
Cavaricis. Who had a pair of Z Cavaricis? That might have been a northern thing, but
no, they were down. I didn't have any.
I've never heard of that before.
They were super tight on the waist, and they may have like 5 or 6 different belts that.
Yep.
And then
pleats for days. And then
pleats in the front and the back.
Yeah.
So that was a New Jersey thing and a South Georgia thing.
Apparently.
It was
I never had a pair either, Casey.
It was not a South Georgia thing. It was a thing that I actually, but Heather Jones may have had some.
My parents would not buy them for me. They were too expensive.
Awesome.
Yeah. Heather may have had a lot of that. So, and
yeah, that's funny. I had the Z-Cab Ricci knockoffs from Walmart. That's what I had.
There you go. Boom.
Talking about communication really quick. Right. Talking about communication really quick. This is kind of interesting, and I'll have to circle back and let you guys know if it's working or not. But I had a call with several of our premier managers the other day, and they were talking about how they feel as though a lot of the communication that they're sending home is digital. Everything was, as more digital communication became an option, we all start sending things home digitally, right down to, like report cards or just skill assessments for class kids and things like that. And they have switched back to paper because parents are getting inundated. We are all getting inundated between the GroupMe and the band and Facebook and, email and text message and pick your app. We're just getting constantly slammed with digital communication, and they're not paying as much attention to it. So they've shifted gears towards sending home actual paper memos again. So I was thinking of, Kevin, this popped into my mind when you were talking about Kindle and all the different forms of communication and how a third. I think it's probably even more like that dynamic or those statistics have probably even shifted, because I agree that we are all, I get notifications from my kids' school constantly. I read, maybe half of them because I just am getting too much stuff thrown at me all the time.
Right.
Anyway, but when he hands me a piece of paper that I have to sign, like a physical piece of paper, I will take a minute to look at that and sign the piece of paper. So jury's still out on whether or not that's good advice, but something new that we are trying. Yeah, because they just feel like, just having a physical piece of paper is making a bigger impact at the moment because it's different.
I agree. I love a handwritten note. Back to my Marriott stuff. Every time I stay at a Marriott, I get a handwritten note in my room, and I appreciate it every time.
And you throw it away right after you read it.
Well, but at least I read it. If I got an email from them, I'm not going to read it. I'll delete it before I even read it.
Okay.
That's a great point. My kids' school, I don't know that I read any of that. Thank goodness for. Well,
but let's be honest, Casey. When have you ever read any of that, though? All the dads on this call, let's be honest. How many of you read anything that school sends home?
I will be honest. Christy did 99.999% of the boys' school stuff.
I appreciate the honesty because
thank God for it.
I am right there with Cole. And there were some times that I'd be really embarrassed because I would go pick up the kids from school or something like that and have to sign them out. And I'd have no idea who their teacher was.
And so I got actually pretty to make on that point. This is awful. About 3 months into Maddox's 6th grade year, I guess 6th grade. I still don't even know. Yeah, 6th grade year. I didn't know what school he was at. I was supposed to take him one day. And where we live, Maryville, they have different grades than what I was accustomed to. They get one of the schools is 1 through 5, and then there's another school that's 6, 7, right? Yeah, and then another school is 8, 9, which is weird. It's different, and it's just based off the size of buildings and how they could fit everybody. Because like a lot of school systems, it's overcrowded. And anyway, it's about 3 months into the year, and I took him to the wrong place. And Christy's like, "You don't even know what building he's at." That's awful. I'm really a good dad, though.
It's kind of interesting in the row house. I got to be honest, because Chris is actually pretty involved, and he does a great job. So I am not trying to pick on my husband, but when it comes to the kind of things for school, paperwork, all that stuff, it was definitely me forever. But then I got sick, and he was doing a lot of that. Now I'm kind of back to my old self, my old snappy little self. And it was just this week. The kids are, my son actually is going back to school, and he was like, did you see this came through, and this needs to get done, and this needs to happen. And he was kind of checking up on me. And I was like, I was like, I got you. Like, I got it. I've already done it. Already filled that out. Already paid for that. Already did this. But he like was used to doing it for the last like 2 years, or you know, in his mind, he was doing it, but he was doing more of it than he had done before. And so now he's like, he knows I'm doing it, but he wants to just make sure. He's happy to turn it back over and let me do it, but he's checking. So anyway, that was kind of funny. We chuckled at each other the other day. He's like checking behind me.
I would get anxiety taking the kids to the doctor or the dentist or thing, because I just did it so rarely. And I've got 5 kids, so there's a lot to remember. All that, like, there's a lot of names and a lot of birthdays and a lot of numbers in there. So show up at the pediatrician's office and they're like, date of birth, please. And I'd look at the kid and be like, tell them, you don't want me to have to do everything for you. Tell them when you.
Do you know all of them now? Do you got their birthdays down?
You know, I have the month and the date. I get mixed up on the years sometimes. And, math is not my strong suit. So
that is funny.
I have a back to school story since Cole brought up school. I think I was in 2nd grade and I missed riding the bus home. It was like the first week of school. I was on the bus. I missed the bus stop and didn't get off. I was playing on the bus, screwing around, doing something probably you shouldn't be. And then towards the end, I realized I had missed getting off the bus and was making my way to the back and was talking with another kid. And then, you know, we're about done. And next thing I know, the bus driver is waking me up at the bus depot. I had fallen asleep in the back of the bus, and the bus got back to the bus barn. And he was cleaning out the bus, and there I am sleeping. He had to call my mom or figure out. She had to come to the bus barn and pick me up because I had literally missed my stop.
Are you saying bus barn? Barn.
Bus barn.
Barn. Okay.
Where the buses go.
I grew up in New Jersey. We grew up in like 2 different planets, you and me, Kevin.
Have you been to Wyoming? Really, it's nothing like New Jersey.
No, I remember when I came to North Carolina for college, and I was like straight out of Jersey, thick accent, like gold herringbone necklace, the whole 9 yards.
Say all the gold,
blonde hair,
blonde
hair.
Yes, blonde hair, and all of my friends in college, they were like, "Who are you and where did you come from?" And then I was there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and they took me to the town of Benson, North Carolina for Mule Days. Yeah. And I was like, Mule Days? We're going to, what are we going to do? And they're like, oh, it's going to be great. You're going to have the best time. I literally thought that I thought I stepped into an alternative universe. I had no idea what was going on. People were dancing in the streets. They like shut down the road.
Yeah.
I love those.
There was trucks with gun racks and all kinds of things. And I was like,
no, and every truck
happened.
Every truck, their doors were unlocked and the keys were in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in New Jersey, we had lowriders with lights and rap music playing, you know, I don't, and we certainly did not have Mule Days. We did have Amish country and the Amish farmers market, which that was amazing, but we did not have Mule Days or a bus barn. We did not have that. And we didn't have cow tipping either.
There you go.
You missed out.
I mean, Kevin said it, but you know, you'd have a truck, and there would be you had a gun rack in the back of the truck on the back window, so there'd be a shotgun sitting there in the back window in the high school parking lot.
Yeah, I was going to
say everybody in town.
That was normal.
My high school, like every other dude, had their shotgun hanging loaded in their truck. Which, can you imagine that?
I don't. No, I couldn't imagine it back when I was growing up. That was insane. That it was not happening where I grew up.
Yeah.
Or if it was happening, I didn't know about it. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Yeah. I don't know where you all people come from.
I have an Amish story.
Okay.
You brought up Amish. You ready for an Amish story?
Oh goodness.
So I was selling CHEERSPORT back in the day and going to visit Darlene Fannig with ICE in northern Indiana, in Amish country. And I am late to an appointment, driving way faster than I should have been. And I come flying around this corner doing about 70 miles an hour, probably a 35 or 40. And I slam on my brakes because in front of me is an Amish carriage and a horse and buggy. And it has a little triangle on the back of and I slam on my brakes and I come about 3 feet from hitting this horse and buggy. And I stop in the middle of the road and I look to my right, and there's an elementary school kid of Amish children at recess, and every kid is doing this, having a heart attack because I'm about to drive up and kill someone's grandparents because I'm driving too fast in the middle of Amish country. And thank goodness I didn't hit him. I did slow down after that, and that was like very scary. But all those kids at recess are watching me drive like a maniac in some car rental in northern Indiana, driving up through Amish country. So
the Amish farmers market was one of my favorite places to get food. It was so good. The food was so good.
Incredible.
And you know what else is one of my favorite things? Sorry, go ahead, Casey. Then we'll talk about one of my favorite things.
I won't tell my story now, but I have an Amish dog. And I bought my dog from this Amish family, and they were not dog breeders. They were a great family, but communicating with them and paying them was quite the challenge. And the guy his neighbor had a cell phone. So it's like, my neighbor has a cell phone. I can send you a picture. I go high on the hill and I can get service up there. Literally sending me pictures. So I gave my dog a proper Amish name. His name is Amos Yoder, which I literally Googled, like, what's the most recognizable Amish name. So
nice.
That's good stuff.
Well, I love the Amish farmers market. And you know what else I love that has absolutely nothing to do with the Amish farmers market? Stage 8 dance brands. I love Stage 8 dance brands. Give your dancers the best competition experience when they attend a Stage 8 dance brand event. Stage 8 dance brands is by dancers for dancers. Don't miss out on your chance to attend the Stage 8 grand finale at the end of the season in May. It's an awesome way to end your season and celebrate all of your dancers' success. For more information, go to stage8dancebrands.com. That's stage8dancebrands.com. STAGETHE. Sorry, I lied. It's STAGE, the number 8, DANCEBRANDS.com, stage8dancebrands.com.
So
I cannot spell as good as Kevin.
It's hard to do. It's really hard to do.
It really is.
Somebody told me,
ask you guys in a spelling bee.
Somebody asked me the other day if I ran cheer events as good as Cheryl ran dance events, because they have both in their gym. And I said, I don't know. I aspire to be as good as Cheryl someday when I grow up. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, what I love about
Stage 8's awesome.
Is it's by dancers for dancers. And that's unique, kind of in the all-star world, is they are just 100% focused on dance. Most events are cheer events that just have dance teams coming to the cheer event. Stage 8 is not that. It's a dance event. So
let's be honest. Successful. For those of you that know Cheryl, if I'm working an event for Cheryl, I don't want to mess up. She scares me a little bit.
It'll be your
might
last
get you.
So true.
Oh, all right, gentlemen, let's do our quote, our Simon Sinek quote. As you all know by now, hopefully, I love Simon Sinek and I love his quotes. I think he is a man full of incredible wisdom. And today's quote kind of describes how I'm feeling in this moment, which is, the game of business has no finish line.
Oh, I love that.
Absolutely true. When I hear that, I think of busyness and with no finish line. Is that, business is busy. And it's something that, it's not a new thing for people, but is if a company or a business is not growing, it's dying. It's like you can't stay constant. So that you always have to constantly be doing more and more, trying to grow, trying to do more things. And it's in the business world, you never actually get to a finish line. I guess maybe if you sell the company and retire, maybe that's the end. But I believe in that fully. So there really isn't a finish line, which sometimes, I think in different jobs outside of business, I think of, people who do construction or, like mowing lawns or cutting grass. Which one do y'all say, speaking about growing up different? Y'all mow a lawn or you cut the grass? What do you do in New Jersey, Stacy?
That's a good question. I say cut the grass now. I don't know what I used to say.
What about in South
Georgia? I think my dad used to say mow the lawn.
Kevin says call the guy.
Yeah. But but there's a sense of accomplishment, which I'll be honest, sometimes I miss that. It's like we're never done. We're always doing the next big thing. Stacy and I have, kind of side conversations sometimes like, gosh, we need to celebrate our successes more. Because once we do something and we're somewhat successful in it, then we're moving on to the next thing and trying to start something else and do this and make that bigger and better, et cetera, et cetera. So, I feel that quote for sure.
So go ahead, Casey.
I was just makes me think about, been in business and a lot of different business for a lot of different years. And it truly is constantly changing, and there's times where I'm like, oh, we've made it. And then boom, an explosion or COVID or man, we didn't make it. We weren't there. There's more to go. But there's also been times of like, we're not going to make it. We're down and out and we're down to our last penny and we're on the ropes. And then we were able to, pull through those times as well. So just so many different things over the years, and it's like it's never ending. But my mother has this saying, and kind of relates to this. Life's like a heartbeat. You're only screwed when it's a flat line. So business is sort of is sort of the same way. It's up and down, and and I think that's honestly, if it wasn't that way, do we get bored? I don't know.
I think that, I love the quote, obviously, because I picked it, but I think that, there is, right, it's always kind of what's the next thing to do. I do think that you can make your life a little easier, though, by being more organized, having good systems and processes. Like there are ways to do it with a little bit less stress, but if you are in business and you're kind of waiting for that moment where everything's just going to be, then you're not in business anymore. Yeah. Because that's not what business is.
And it's not going to be for long.
Yeah. If it is for a minute, enjoy that minute. Enjoy that one moment, because it's not gonna last. And for anybody that likes to read out there, Simon Sinek actually wrote a book called The Infinite Game, and it's all about business and how it is the infinite game. It's one of my favorite business books. Of course, all of his books are awesome, but anyway, so it's The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. And P.S. we get zero, we are just promoting Simon Sinek out of the goodness of our heart. We get zero anything for that.
The sponsorship check hasn't come yet?
No, it hasn't come yet.
No, it's coming. Well, I learned 3 things about business that is true for any business, any gym, and you're in one of 3 areas. And so you're either growing, or you have flatlined, or you are declining. And so if you're growing, then that's a great thing. And if you're flatlined, then you're on your way to either growth or decline. And if you're declining, what are you doing to get back to growing again? So you have to decide where you are in those 3 phases. And only one of them is a good phase. So one of them is not horrible, but one of them is bad. And so you have to figure out where you are in your business to be able to make it where you're back to growing again.
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of help those out there to define growth. Growth doesn't necessarily mean that you need to go from a 10,000 square foot building to a 20,000 square foot building, from 150 kids to 250 kids. There are other ways to grow by, becoming more efficient and improving your profit margins. So it's not all like, I think sometimes people kind of beat themselves down because they attribute growth to one thing.
Right.
If I don't go up in numbers of kids, when I got my start, I was a very small gym. And the number that we looked at the most was, what is our average make per kid? What is the average kid, bringing in? We try to bring that number up because we didn't have space to grow. So that's all one of the few things.
I think it's important too. Like sometimes it is okay to pause and kind of hone in on what you're doing and get really good at it. If you're growing too fast or you're not growing in the right way or you're not growing with the right support, then you can decline really quickly and get on that decline path. So it's important to, not just grow, but grow wisely, I think is the good.
Yeah, that's true. Can you handle the growth,
Yeah.
If you get 100 new kids, do you have anybody to coach them? And do you have qualified coaches? Do you,
Just recently, real-time example is, speaking of growing, is Stacy and I turned down an opportunity to partner with this major medical company, dive in deep into a 5-acre mega complex. But really, when we looked at it, it's we would be bigger, but the expense is just too big a leap. So we kind of repositioned ourselves and looking at our current location and how we maximize, revenue and profit out of the current location, freshen it up a little bit. So I think that's a great point, Casey. It's like growing there's different ways to grow. You don't always have to just get a bigger building or add more kids, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Yeah. Well, guys, enjoy fall. Enjoy your chili. Hopefully you're having some pumpkin bread or some pumpkin muffins. Those are my favorite. Some spiced pumpkin lattes from Starbucks or wherever you drink your coffees, and some Saturday football or Sunday or Monday night football. It's it's my favorite time of year. I love it. Be sure to follow us on YouTube at the MotUS Edge. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Join MotUS, and give us a follow. Wherever you listen to your podcast, give us a like or a shout out, leave us a review, and let us know if you like what we're doing and you want to hear more. And don't forget to tell your friends about the MotUS Edge and how awesome and fun and crazy we are. If you are a gym owner, join the movement and sign up for MotUS today. Thank you all for listening so much. We are excited for you to have the MotUS Edge.
Oh, thank you all.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the MotUS Edge. We hope you had a blast. Join us next week for more on business, leadership, and motivation. Subscribe and follow the show where you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our newsletter at joinmotus.com. The MotUS Edge podcast is produced by ClantonCreative.com.